I suppose it was really me that chose East of Eden rather than the rest of the family, because I just remember John playing them early days on when I first met him, so I suppose that's me being a bit nostalgic.
Curiously enough, we were called the Electric Light Orchestra when we started and decided to dump that name. I think it was the management came up with East of Eden, I don't think we did. We were formed in Bristol in 1967. Me personally, I was a blues player, really, Hendrix, Cream, but I, was drifting towards Frank Zappa and things like that. Ron was a jazz musician, so it was John Coltrane, Charlie Mingus. But when Dave came in, he brought in Bartok, so it was a strange mixture. But it was really three musicians with completely different backgrounds, just seeing what happened. Our first ever gig in London, I see on the poster, which I've still got, that he was there. I don't remember meeting him on that one. We did an all-nighter in Buxton in Derbyshire, where John had to do 10 spots throughout the night, starting at 8 o'clock, finishing at 6:30 in the morning. Our second set finished about the same time as his, so we offered to give him a lift home. We realised we were rapidly running out of petrol, so we found a remote service station in Derbyshire which only had a self-service pump open, nothing else, which took pound notes, which is rare, which bought about 3 gallons in those days. And John was the only person with a pound note, so hopefully we reimbursed him, God knows. Everybody knew him then. He became very popular, certainly with our section of music, immediately, because he was the only person who championed our sort of music. The rest of the DJs were purely top 40.
That's East of Eden, another very good group. That's called Nymphenburger, which occurs on their Snafu LP, which you doubtless have at home, and here's some more good music.
I think we sold records simply because we did so many gigs, so we exposed ourselves to such a huge audience. Oh, it was great, but of course it was ridiculously tiring. We were doing, 250 gigs a year, going all over Europe, whatever. After we left Decca Records, Decca found this single we'd made, Jig a Jig, re-released it, and it became a hit. But sadly, 4/5 of the band had left by then, including me. I've spent the last 40 years as an illustrator. I've done a couple of Rolling Stones tour posters and lots of McDonald's Happy Meal boxes. We were offered a tour after a 40-year break about a year ago, but it never came off. The deal was a little bit shaky. It would have been a bit scary after all these years. We'd have needed a nurse on the tour bus.
And that's East of Eden with an extended version of their chart-bound sound called Jig a Jig. It's rather good music on this week's programme, actually.